Well, let's go now to Tshwane, where the meeting's been adjourned until further notice, again without the election of a new mayor. Kwena Maloto is a councillor for the DA in Tshwane.
Interdict, because as I said, this is about the residents of the City of Tshwane, and we need to get back to delivering services.
How soon will you be filing these papers? Because one would say that the adjustments budget is something that you have to take into consideration here, and of course your deadline being next week.
I think first we just need to clarify. We would like to pass the adjustment budget simply because we'd like to continue to deliver services to the residents of Tshwane. But that not passing the adjustment budget is not reason enough to put the City of Tshwane under administration. We'll be taking, as I said, urgent legal action. If not inside the next few hours, definitely by the middle of the day tomorrow.
Patricia Fasahi from the SABC, just to our viewers, those who might be listening, just to stipulate clearly what would be the basis of your legal action, just so that we all understand on the basis of what are the grounds that you are going to court for.
Yeah. As I said, this is politically motivated. There are only two reasons for a speaker to adjourn council. The one is if there's violence. There was no violence inside the chambers today. The second is if you no longer meet quorum. And if you even go into the council chambers right now, we still have the majority of councillors, 108 councillors, sitting inside their seats. And so there's no reason, outside of this being politically motivated, for the speaker to adjourn this meeting.
When are you being accused of having walked out of council last week? They're saying this issue could have been resolved then. Do you take the blame for this?
No, not at all. You must remember that the difference between Friday's council meeting and today's council meeting is extremely different. On Friday's meeting, there were three illegal councillors inside the council chambers, and for that reason, we stepped out. Today, it's completely politically motivated. There's still a majority of council. Friday, it was because of a lack of quorum, and as I said, we made the principled stance to step out because there were two illegal councillors sitting inside the chambers. Today, it was adjourned simply because this is an intention for the ANC to take over the City of Tshwane through the back door. It's politically motivated.
Stephen, that is Kwena Maloto from the DA. Of course, they are taking this to court. They are definitely taking the Speaker to court over the decision that he has taken in terms of adjourning the Council today. But at the same time, the likes of the EFF and the likes of the ANC are also putting blame on the DA. They're also putting blame on the multi-party coalition and saying that, well, you walked out on Friday, and when are they clarifying why indeed they had to walk out. Also, they're saying that despite them walking out, they still had the majority. And they were saying that they will not take part in council when there were two people who had their contracts terminated by their parties, and of course that being those two members from Action SA.
And Mbali, what this means is once again there is still no mayor in Tshwane. The chaos, dare I say, in some ways, I think some people see this as a tragedy. Some people, frankly, are laughing at it. This has gone on for so long now.
That's certainly right, Stephen. So the chaos here still continues. And one would say that something we also asked Kwena was that, don't you think that there are these delays in which we continue to see here in council to actually have this city also placed under administration? You'd also understand that this is a struggling municipality. It is cash strapped. And of course, they're only left until next week to pass the adjustments budget. And if they don't do so, it will then be handed over to the province, and of course then the province will have to step in and place this municipality under administration. So also hearing there from the DA saying that the ANC is just buying time, saying that the opposition in this council is buying time because it simply does not have the numbers to vote in its own mayor. And also you'd remember that the last time when we saw Muruno Makwarela being voted in as the mayor here in the city of Tshwane, it was also those in that multi-party coalition who voted alongside the ANC and the EFF to ultimately see Muruna Makwarela being installed as the mayor. And since then, those parties, Action SA and the likes, have since gotten rid of those rotten potatoes in the party. So they'll have to then start renegotiating and see whether there would be some in that multi-party coalition who would then vote with them. But so far, the multi-party coalition has 109, that is 50 plus 1 in this council. And they are saying that these are just delaying tactics, and the ANC and the EFF and the likes are just playing politics here in the city of Tshwane.
And in Mbali, even if the coalition, the multi-party coalition, is able to then get the position of mayor, you're still going to have a speaker from the other side of things, from the opposing coalition. I hate to say it, but it seems to me that the short-term prediction for Tshwane is a period of great difficulty, and so is probably the medium term, also a prediction of great difficulty.
It is posing a great difficulty because you'd also remember that the speaker that this house has is actually somebody from the ANC and the EFF benches and the opposition in this house that does not have a majority. And the reasons why we have the speaker from ATM is because in the manner of which how the DA voted the last time when there was a voting process being done for a speaker. And you'd remember there was those famous 69 votes where members of the DA then voted according to numbers here in council. And of course now that is also making it a bit difficult for them because this is a speaker that comes from the benches of the opposition. So of course it's not a speaker that listens to what the multi-party coalition would want to see go ahead in this council. So also causing great difficulty for the proceedings of council to go ahead accordingly, because that mandate of this speaker, he would then take the mandate from the opposition. I must say, Stephen, also it's still not clear when council will resume. When you just speak to some of the councillors here, they are saying that council might not even take place this week. We might only be back in this council only next week until when the speaker says that he has finally sought his legal advice, and of course tell the public what that legal advice would then say. But for now, Stephen, it's most likely the only time we're going to see this council resume and councillors back here trying to elect a new mayor, most likely it will only be next week.
Sure. Mbali, and in the meantime, the clock is ticking. There's supposed to be an adjustment budget, which is supposed to be passed. Also, as I understand the legislation, I can't remember the deadline off the top of my head, but at some point, the provincial government, so the ANC for the moment, may well be tempted to intervene. It may well have a legal right to intervene.
That's certainly right, Stephen. Of course, like I said a bit earlier on, when we asked Kwena Moloto, when it comes to, are they playing politics here, when it comes to the issues around the adjustments budget, which, needs to be passed in the House, he was quite clear in saying that indeed it is politics, and basically they want, saying that the ANC and the likes of the EFF on the opposition here in council, they want, this city to then fall in the hands of the province.
Mbali, Thethani, for that live update. Thank you very much indeed.